are you doing? And welcome to the Magical Mystery School. And thank you so much for coming back to Symbols of the Tarot Class 30. Whoa, we're moving along here. And in fact, we're starting to finish up and do some review here. So today we're going to talk about the relationship, mostly about the minor arcana with the zodiac. See if I can get all my axes all straight here. And so first thing we're going to do, and when I learned all this stuff, I tell you what, it just blew me away when I found out the relationship with the tarot, and it really helped deepen my understanding of astrology too. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to, like I said, review a few things and probably do one more class then after this where I'll really focus on what I call the count cards, 2 through 10. So today we're going to, first off, we're going to just start with, and I'm going to just dive right in. Just to remind you guys, and we've got our major arcana, and just remember, when you get tarot cards, it's almost like getting 2 decks of cards. You've got the major arcana, which are, there's 22 of them. So just remember, there's 12 signs to the zodiac, and there's 10 luminaries, which are the planets plus the sun and the moon, because the sun and moon aren't planets, so we call them luminaries. They shine up in the sky. So 10 plus 12 is 22. So each one of these, here's Aries, Taurus. Each one of these are going to represent a sign or a planet / luminary. Okay, so I think you guys are familiar with that by this time. Oh, and I should also say that these majors, I have seen, it's pretty much universal. I mean, the Hangman is for Neptune, and pretty much every reader I've seen has used that same formula. Now, there is one gal who I respect a ton who's decided that the Tower is for Uranus, where usually I do anyway, have Uranus for the Fool. But that's what she's decided with her own meditation and study and skill with tarot. So just be aware that, check everything through your own intuition, your own feelings, and that kind of thing. Now, with the minors, I have seen a lot of differences. And just to remind you, I'm pretty much did my studying with the BOTA, Builders of the Atom, Mystery School. So I'm pretty much using their teachings, basically. So again, some people will find their own meanings, as well as they'll just read the cards themselves. And remember, the cards themselves look, especially these modern ones, look very different. So they can be, someone might read different things into these cards with what they're actually, the image that they're actually seeing. Okay, so let's jump in here and review the aces and the pages. Oh, and I should just say, so don't get too hung up on these labels, right? Let this be a guide, let this be an inspiration for you, and to let you go on and do your own discovery. Okay, so this is our generic astrology wheel, and I've got it divided up into the 4 quadrants, and each one of these quadrants begins with a cardinal sign of a different element. Now, some of you your brains may be going, what? Okay, so you might need to go back and look at some of the astrology lessons, but cardinal is our, kind of our go forward leaders of each element. So, and just remember that we do have this repeating pattern. So we have cardinal fixed mutable, cardinal fixed mutable, cardinal fixed mutable, cardinal fixed mutable. So cardinal is always going to be the sign right after the axis. Fixed is always going to be the house or the sign in the middle here. And then mutable will be the last one before you jump the axis to the new quadrant. Now, each quadrant is kind of influenced, I'm not going to say ruled, but it's going to be influenced by the cardinal sign that's that first sign. So the first quadrant is our fiery quadrant, because this is Aries is fire cardinal. So, and then Cancer is going to be water cardinal. So this quadrant's going to be more watery, just an influence of it. Okay, so when we look at our page and our aces, remember those two have basically a lot of the same meaning. It's just that the page of wands is more showing us communication. Both of these are kind of communication cards. That this is communication, but in the 3D world, in our physical plane here. Us actually talking and listening. This, the ace of the wands here, is our communication. And this is, remember, it's going to have that same, because it's wands, that fiery, you know, leadership type quality to it. But this is going to be, since it's this hand coming out of the clouds, kind of coming out of the ethers basically, it's going to be more information that you're going to get through meditation or a dream or somehow spiritually on some level. Okay, and that's going to be true for all the pages and aces. So now with our Cancer cardinal, we're going to have cups. And we're going to have that same page of cups and ace of cups. And again, this is more coming from the ethereal, and this is more on the 3D plane. And also these quadrants can help you, and knowing this with these keys can also help you a little bit with your timing. Now, if you're really into timing, you want to go with astrology, because it's the one that's giving you the planets, what's moving, all that good stuff. Whereas here we're kind of getting more just emphasis with our tarot. So each one of these, so this is the spring quadrant. So the sun goes into Aries at the end of March. At the spring equinox, for our friends down under, that would be the fall equinox. But spring for us up here in the northern hemisphere. And just to let you know, when the sun moves from one sign to the next, it can be really anywhere from the 19th to the 22nd of that month. So it can vary from year to year. So, yeah, wouldn't it be great if our calendars was just based on astrology instead of, I don't know, what have we got, a Georgian calendar or something? Anyway, I won't go too far off on a tangent here. So, so if you do get some of these cards in a reading or something like that, this can kind of tell you, well, maybe this is going to happen in the spring. Then Cancer, of course, is our summer solstice, or the longest day of the year. So that's at the end of June. And then Libra will be our, up here in the northern hemisphere, our fall equinox. Equal day of light and dark, but it's going to be, Libra is cardinal air. So this quadrant's kind of influenced by air. And here we've got the page of swords. Swords are air. And the ace of swords. Again, that same idea about how communication comes in. This guy looked like he's ready to do a little jousting or fencing or something like that. Then he's got his sword raised there. Sometimes people think this is Saint Michael in sort of a youthful form. And then the last quadrant, because when we cross this axis, we're going to go to Capricorn, which is the winter solstice, or the shortest day of the year. And we're going to have our pentacles, because that's the earth sign. And the same with the page and the ace in each one of the quadrants there. Okay. All right, and I've already gone over these cards in a earlier lesson, or these keys with more of their meaning. But I kind of wanted to show you this on the wheel, because they actually tell you when you take classes on teaching that you have to tell students You shouldn't say have to. You like to tell students the same information 3 times, and if you can, do it in 3 different ways: verbally, writing it, physically. I guess we're not going to taste or touch. I don't want to, or we're going to taste, but we're not going to smell or taste these keys. Anyway, okay. So now let's review these court cards right quickly. And remember with the court cards, the kings are always going to represent the cardinal signs, or have an influence there. So again, that's that cardinal fixed mutable. So the King of Wands is going to kind of relate to Aries here. And again, this is our leadership, being a good entrepreneur, willing to go out there and make your statement there. But also notice there's a lion back here on the banner. So that's kind of a little lizardy thing here. But that's kind of showing us, Aries is fire and Leo is fire. So that we're going to have some of the, we're bringing in the lion here just to show us, that he's not just the king of Aries, but he's the king of all of fire, right? Now for Cancer, we have the King of Cups, the water, cardinal water. And this is, I think, the epitome of emotional maturity, emotional intelligence, they call it. And a lot of readers I've noticed have given Joe Biden to this card, and he certainly got maturity going on, right? And he has had a lot of difficulties in his life emotionally that he's had to work with and deal with. So that makes sense. Libra, cardinal air. And here we've got the King of Swords here, ready to deal out some justice for sure. And you'll notice a lot of times with swords, you'll see these butterflies. And that's also letting us know that swords, even though they are willing to go to battle for us, they're also open to change too. They're not so stuck in the way they're thinking. They can grow and change. Now and then last king here, and let me slide this guy down a little bit, is Capricorn. So we have our King of Earth, or the cardinal earth sign here, Capricorn. And here we can see this king certainly has this beautiful luscious robe on, a lot of abundance going on, but you can see he's also got, that's okay, it's just going to be one set. You can see he's got goats and bulls. So Capricorn is the sign of the goat, and Taurus is the sign of the bull. So again, bringing in more earth signs here. So anytime we see, the earth signs here, we're always thinking about money. Sometimes this king is called the greedy king. And we're also thinking about physical health, anything, earthy, physical, plane things. Now, next, the queens. And the queens are always relating to the fixed signs. So here we have Taurus, which is earth fixed. So we'll have the Queen of Pentacles, sort of related to the Taurus sign. And she's very, she's, again, with that earth, there's, she's in this beautiful garden. There's an arbor above her head. She, too, has a goat on her throne, kind of maybe going back to the Capricorn, or maybe it's, thinking of the bull here of Taurus. But the queens in general, and the Pentacle Queen, the most of all the queens, is interested in security and safety. So she wants to take care of that earthly body and such. Now the next fixed sign is Leo. And so here we have the Queen of Wands, because Leo is a fire sign. And you can see she's holding a sun flower in her hand here, and the sun rules Leo, so that makes a lot of sense. And you're going to see, she has lions on her banner behind her for Leo, and she's got lions on her throne, and she's even got a kitty cat down here that's helping her with her intuition and such. So there again, we're seeing that fire of Leo coming through here, the fixed Leo. Now we have Scorpio, so we have the Queen, fixed water, and we have the Queen of Cups in relationship to Scorpio here. And I'm sure you guys have heard me say this many times. If you've got to tell a secret to somebody, or you want to confide in somebody, Scorpio is always your best bet, right? Scorpios will always keep a secret. They know when to keep their mouths shut to help you out. So they're the best at that. And when we see this lid on her cup, that's kind of the same information coming through. She's the only one that has a lid on her cup, because she too can keep a secret for this in alignment with this Scorpio energy. And then lastly, we have fixed air. So we have Aquarius. And now this is, here, now all the fixed signs are a little bit on the stubborn, I shouldn't say a little bit, they are on the stubborn side here. But with this being in air, we're seeing kind of the Queen of Swords is often denoted as being like the iciest queen. Now she does have that sword of justice, so she could be a wonderful attorney in the justice system, that kind of thing. But she's very rational, logical with this Aquarius thinking mind. Okay, let's move on to the Knights. Oops, I don't want to move my axes too much. We want them to stay fairly well put, huh? Okay. So when we start down here with our mutable, because remember it's going to be mutable, 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 right? And the Knights all relate to the Knights. If you just saw, the sun just came out, so my lighting changed a little bit there. But I think it's okay. So we'll just keep going. So mutable, whoops, sorry, wrong one. Mutable air is the Knight of Swords. And Gemini is probably one of our, one of our fastest, quick-witted brains in the zodiac here. And here's this Knight, rushing this way, that way, this way, that way, maybe not even thinking before they rush from here to there and from there to here. But this one is, and again, this can help you with timing. If you pull this card, whatever your question is about, the answer's coming in quickly. Okay, now Virgo is our mutable fire, or earth. And that's, mutable, we think of, can go back and forth a little bit. But earth is our stodgiest of all the elements. And this plays true here because the horse has all four hoofs on the ground. He's not really going anywhere. He's thinking about it. And Virgo, they are also ruled by Mercury, but a much more thoughtful, slower way of thinking about things. Sagittarius, then we think of, we've got the Knight of Wands, fire, mutable. And here we see the horse is, he's kind of reining back the horse. He's not letting it go like we saw here. And I almost see this as similar to when you see the picture of Sagittarius, the centaur, he's always got that bow and arrow, and he's usually got it pulled back, and he hasn't let it go yet. And I get that same energy there. He's got that energy all coiled up in that bow and ready to let that horse go and go for it. So here we've got the fire of mutability. And then last but not least, we have the Knight of Cups. mutable water, Pisces. And yes, the horse is moving. It's not standing on the ground like the Knight of Pentacles here, but he's not moving very quickly. And this is often called the Knight of an offer, because he's kind of extending this cup. And sometimes it can refer to romance. So if you see that coming in, maybe a romantic offer. You know, this is cups is emotion. So, we're getting maybe some emotional offers being made, that kind of thing. But I also notice how he's got these wings on his helmet and also on the spurs of his helmet. And that's, to me, that's Mercury. And that's bringing in Gemini. Mercury rules Gemini, and Mercury also rules Virgo. So it's kind of bringing in those mutable signs again. And the other thing, and sometimes this night is called the false night, that it's not being totally honest with you. And I kind of, when I relate that to Pisces, I always feel very protective of Pisces energy, because it is the last sign of the zodiac. And Pisces, if you know a pretty heavy-duty Pisces person, you know, they've kind of got one foot in the earth and one foot in the cosmos, right? They're sort of, they can be a little otherworldly. So sometimes they're given the rap of being a little bit naive, maybe a little gullible. So anybody who is a Pisces or has Pisces friends, tell them to take it slow, think about it before they accept those offers and such. Okay, so I think I've been going on quite long enough here. So I'm going to stop for now right here. And what I'll be doing is, and in the next lesson, is going through those count cards 2 through 10. And if you get a chance, go to the Astrology for Beginners, lesson 36, because I go over deacons, which is going to be an important part of explaining the count cards. So anyway, I'm going to stop before I go too long here, and just want to say, from here to there, from there to here, funny things are everywhere. Bye. See you next time. Thanks, guys. Oh, and that lesson 36, I'll put on the end of this, but you can also go down to my logo with the circle with my face on it. Okay.